all the unique characters.
I do let him bang. Yeah, I'm saying? Like, yeah, I'm a legend, man. I'm building my legacy.
All the stories and perspectives featured weekly.
I wasn't fully committed to that choke, and I kind of sunk into it, started squeezing tighter, and I kind of heard him gurgle a little bit. And I was like, oh.
And all the combat sports you could ask for in the best state in the U.S.
Like I said, Ohio versus the world. It's going to happen for sure. Watch out.
It'll be cool, man. I'm not worried about it. I'm going to show them why the Ohio MMA scene is, in my opinion, one of the best MMA scenes in the country.
This is Forged in OH.
IO.
OH.
IO.
OH.
IO.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 131 of Forged in Ohio. My name is Jake Murren, and I'm the host of the podcast. Hope everyone enjoyed their holiday season, as this is the first episode of Forged in Ohio in 2026. And when I first started to think of guests to join the show to really kick off the year, I could only think of one man. This fighter has been on episodes 27 and 62 of Forged in Ohio. He nearly went without a year of fighting, but made his highly anticipated return at Cage Thunder 36, where he improved to 7-0 as an amateur, repping Strong Style Fight Team. It's Chase, the Archangel, Archangelo. Thanks for coming on the show, Chase, and welcome back to Forged in Ohio for a third time.
Yeah, man. Thank you for having me.
Of course, there's a ton to catch up on here, so I kind of want to start with a very open-ended question. Just what comes to mind when you think of the year 2025 that you had?
Yeah, it was, it was a very tough year for me. Getting surgery this time last year, actually, January 14th of 2025. It was really just a hard thing for me to accept that I was getting a knee surgery. And I know a lot of people would say that it's very difficult to come back from and that I would never be the same and that the goal to the UFC would be over, and I kind of just kept the receipts and I ignored the naysayers. And I felt like a lot of the people forgot about me for sure. And it was a really humbling feeling that I felt forgotten, and people that were ranked above me that should have been ranked above me. To me, I took it personal, and it made me work a lot harder. And I never lost my belt either. And to me, I vacated because I thought I was going to go professional. But then unfortunately, that didn't happen. But the whole year was just rebuilding, and, finding myself again, becoming the man that I was once feared as, and it took a lot of time and patience and consistency to get to where I am today.
Yeah, undergoing that surgery about a year ago this time, how long did it take you to kind of feel the way you do now and fully rebuild into who you are now?
Yeah, I was walking in 9 days. I was after surgery. I didn't let the surgery stop me. Like, even I know when to stop, but I was leg pressing in like 2 weeks, and I was just trying to mentally be strong because Marcus, he preaches a lot of things about having mental toughness, and a lot of people. I was thriving where most would crumble, and it's very difficult for people to accept that you can't do what you want to do right now, and you're gonna have to deal with it. And I found a way, and I did it all on my own. My mother came out here for like 3 days after 3 days, within the surgery week. And then other than that, it was just me. I had a couple of my Strong Style family take me to PT visits, and, I Ubered there, if anything, sometime. And it was just me. I had to rebuild myself the entire time. Obviously my mom did the best she can, like within the 3 days. She has work, she has a job, back home in Delaware. And, I chose to stay here. I wanted to stay here, and I wanted to do it myself. I would have to go up. I would have to get up and go piss on my own. I have to, even when I was, I had to crutch my way to the bathroom. I had to eat, cook, everything like that. And I wasn't letting my injury be an excuse of not living the everyday life. And balancing that out with teaching I was a teacher at the original school I was with, and it was difficult. I was, even during lunch, I was doing steps. I was going up and down the steps, and um, it was really tough. I just found a way to keep making something out of the day, and yeah, man, it's been a roller coaster for sure.
Yeah, it feels like there was both that physical and mental setback that you had to overcome last year. And something that you wrote on social media that really stuck out to me was that you had maybe questioned if you would ever be the same after undergoing that surgery. How prevalent was that thought, or how fearful were you of that?
I was terrified because I watched my older brother. I watched my older brother go through the surgery, and he played and he performed phenomenally. He was fine. He gave me a good encouragement, saying that I was playing in 6 months, like you'll be fine. But he also didn't do it when he was 27, and I know I'm still young, but it's still like I'm supposed to go pro like now, and it was a really emotional thing for me. Like, what if this isn't really my life, and what if I don't have it anymore? And Marcus slapped the shit out of me after that, and that pretty much kind of did it. And locked back in. I was back on a sled machine pulling, doing belt squat, everything like that. And, you know, um, and I had a wonderful support from my friends and my family. And of course, my gym, Strong Style. Even people from I had no idea who they are. They come up and say, we're still believing you, man. Like even the city in Cleveland itself, guys would just come to me while I'm eating at a restaurant, like, hey man, we still believe in you. NFL players even said, we still believe in you, man. Like, so to me, that it meant a lot to me to keep going. Um, and I just worked like a madman and didn't want to let those thoughts in my head. And I have it written down on my wall there. It was the fight day, but I put the wrong date because we were supposed to fight this year in January, but we healed up so fast, and I got cleared by the doctors, so we fought earlier, and that was a really big thing for me.
Yeah, I wanted to ask about that timeline of your fight at Cage Thunder 36. Maybe that wasn't always the date you had in mind, but were you determined to get that fight in 2025 and make that return like you did?
Yeah, I mean, I had the plan. I'm like, hey, can I fight in December? Like, I'm sparring pretty good. I was sparring guys and I was doing really well in sparring, and guys were just telling me, Cooper was like, what do you think about December? And then I asked the doctors, they're like, whichever you feel is best. My knee feels great. I mean, I'm strong. I felt great. My strength training was really going really well. And then the opportunity knocks. How about you fight December 13th? I'm like, yes, sir, let's do it. And then it happened. So, and I was just really relieved that it happened. Just the amount of emotions I had raceful thoughts, like just like my thoughts were just racing everywhere.
Yeah.
And it was just something I just couldn't take in at the moment. And yeah, it was just super overwhelming for sure that I just waited for so long for it to happen. And, having a layover and fighting a guy like that, was a big test for me because guy's a dog, Jackson's a dog. And, and it showed that I had a little bit of rusty. I was a little rusty, but, it just showed that I could be 16 months out and I could still put the pain on somebody.
What was it like hearing that, I guess, clearance from the doctors back then when they said, hey, whatever works best for you, you are good to compete? I'm sure that brought a lot of emotions to you after a testful year.
Yeah, I started tearing up. I did like have an emotional moment. I called my mom, tearing up, saying that I got cleared to fight. And that like it was even because we had the same conversation when I got surgery. I was just bawling my eyes out, thinking that this road could be so hard and difficult. And, I was just thinking that I'll never be the same. Like, what am I gonna do? Like having that victim mindset was just horrible. And then, I just found a way to dig through and just keep going.
Talking with Chase the Archangelo here on Forged in Ohio. So how did we land on Jackson Dougherty as your opponent? A guy that I respect a lot, who at the time was 5-1 with 4 submission wins.
Yeah, I mean, we were supposed to cross train. It was really crazy. I mean, we were supposed to cross train. I actually texted him like the week prior before we found out we were going against each other. And it was like that. And then my coach just gave me a name on my desk and it was him. And I was like, I was supposed to cross train with them. And then my coach said, no, fuck that. We're fighting them. I went, okay. I'm like, did he say okay? Well, yeah, he said, I'm like, okay. And then that happened. And then I was like, I'm like, listen, you're just going to prove everyone that that you're still daddy in that weight class. You're still the champ in that weight class. And that, that I've never lost my belt and I'm still the best welterweight in Ohio. And I'm number one in Ohio, in amateur, but I don't really care about that anymore. That's just blast in the past. Now I'm focused on professional, but, yes, I mean, it was just I have no shade towards Jackson at all. I respect him as an athlete. He is going to be an absolute stud. He is a stud, and he was active as heck. And, if I feel like the fight would have changed a bit if I was still, if I didn't get hurt, it probably would have been a different result on my end. I probably could have finished him, but I mean, I was just overwhelming, the stress levels, everything like that. And a little bit of the cage rush got on me.
I've called you undeniable before on this show, and a lot of that has to do with your confidence and self-belief as a fighter. I'm curious if you felt that way going into the cage for your last fight, or given the injury, the 16-month layoff, maybe those pre-fight emotions were a little bit different.
No, I mean, I was still like, I had the same mindset. Like I felt good in the cage, like mindset wise. I do know that my conditioning was a little downplayed, I would say. It was something to me that we didn't really focus a lot on wrestling that camp because I had to worry about my knee. And we focused on striking, and I was winning the striking the whole time. And then I took the opportunity as soon as he throws his lead kick, I'm going for that takedown, and got the takedown. And the mistake that I did was I overworked my arms for the submission attempts because I thought I had the neck crank in the first, but didn't get it. And my arms were just on fire after that. I went, shit. But yeah, it was just more of a cardio thing for me, I think. It was, and also I didn't really get much wrestling in. So it made my wrestling defense kind of got put on blast. And he capitalized on it for sure. And we did a lot of back take this camp. I had Emil Fisher on my back. I had his teammate Jose on my back, one of the best grapplers in the world, that were on my back. And that's all. I knew this kid could finish people on their back. And I took something out of this fight, thinking that I'm like, hey, he couldn't choke me out in 3 minutes, and he didn't even hit me in the third round. My defense on my back was good, and I finished on top like the last 10 seconds. 5-minute round. I could have been. That's a different fight, but and I think personally it was more like a test, like, hey, like I could be in danger for a certain amount of time and I'd be okay. So I'd take good things out of it, but also, I mean, I thought it was a real strategic fight. I won the first 2 rounds.
Yeah.
But it was unanimous and all 3 judges saw it. So I'm like, okay, awesome. I mean, everybody had it 2-1. I lost that 3rd round for sure. I mean, that was, that's a no-brainer. But that's something that I will take from it. My next camp is cardio is what I used to do. It's just cardio, because I have a good gas tank in general. But it was tested this fight.
Yeah, to your point, you won the fight by unanimous decision after winning those first 2 rounds. Is that the result you were expecting going into the fight, and how happy were you with that performance overall?
I mean, I thought I was going to finish him in the first. I thought I had that submission. I really thought I had him. But, I mean, I just overcommitted to it, got my arms a little tired. And then the second round, thought I had a head and arm triangle. Then I overworked my arms on that, and then he capitalized. Saw my arms got tired, and then saw my body language kind of crumble a little bit. Took me down the last 10 seconds, and I was like, all right, because usually I'm okay giving up my back because I get out. But he took that in advantage of it. I thought I knew it was going to be a war. I knew it was going to. I'm like, all right, I'm going to be a little rusty. I'm going to shake a little bit of the cage rust off. And I think Jackson was ready for that fight. I knew he kind of cut some weight the night before because I knew he was having trouble cutting weight. So to me, I was like, okay with that too. I thought I was going to run through him, and I was doing pretty decent in the first round. Like I was just dominating him with my hands and took what he gave me, got the takedown, dominated him up top. I knew he was going to try to bully me a little bit. I wasn't expecting him to wrestle. I mean, I thought he was going to respect my wrestling a little more, but I didn't respect his wrestling enough. And obviously he capitalized on that.
I asked about those emotions before the fight, but what were they like after you really did get that hand raised after 16 months away from the sport?
I just thought about it, like all the days like of PT, like the days where I would cry, the days that I would like lock myself in my room and just think about if I'm ever going to fight again, like what am I going to do with my life? Things that like my path to the UFC is going to be gone, like all that work that I did with, running in the snow, sled pulling in the snow. We just did a snow workout today. And just running when everyone else is sleeping, running in the cold, work strength training at like 4 a.m. Just me and my roommate and I, we would train early in the morning together, saunas together. It was just everything just went all at the same time to that moment when I got my arm raised. And it was really emotional for me because it was a lot of demons were fought, and I didn't really think I was going to ever be the same. And, and I feel like I got better, and not even my coaches see it, even when I didn't see it. And also what also helped me was when I'm teaching, I'm a gym teacher now, I'm a PE teacher. And I have these kids looking up to me, and I don't want them ever seeing me like at my falters, and they look up to me a lot, and I love those kids to death. And they were super excited to see me fight. And, a couple of them watched on the pay-per-view. So that was pretty cool. And, I was like, well, I'm definitely not losing because then I won't hear the end of it on Monday. So, yeah.
What were their reactions when you did return on Monday? What was that like?
I felt like I was in school again. Like, when in high school, when I won my state titles, I'm like, man, school's going to be awesome on Monday. After I walk in with my medal, I walked in and all my kids were just super excited. They were happy that I won, and I gave them a free day, things like that, play some dodgeball with them. It was a good day. All the kids were very happy. The parents were happy too. And all the staff members as well. It was a good day, that's for sure. The city of Cleveland was happy. I was super happy. I got to celebrate with them after. Yeah.
I loved how you put it earlier that you almost felt forgotten in that 16-month layoff. What was it like to kind of prove that you are back with that fight in December and that you're going to be a force to be reckoned with moving forward?
Yeah, I mean, I fought a guy that was active as heck. He did not take a break. He's fought 6 or 7 times in a year. Mm-hmm. And he hasn't beaten any. He didn't beat any soup cans. I mean, he's fought some really solid guys, and it just showed that I'm like, hey, I could be 16 months off and I could still kick someone's ass. And I didn't just beat some soup can down the street. I beat a guy that was number 2 in Ohio. And it just showed that there's levels to it, and that it just proved that if I was not injured, nor like taking a break, things like that, recovery and all that, I would have smoked him. Inside too, in my opinion. I probably would have smoked him inside too. But that's just, coulda, woulda, shoulda. But I mean, it happened. Still won 2 rounds. That's all I care about. Wish I won 3, but what can you do? You're gonna have adversity in fights in general. But I was just happy that I won. In front of my mom and all my friends and family, and they all came out here, and yeah, so I was happy. It was a really good win. I'm glad to be back on top. King's back, even though I don't have the belt. I mean, that's not really my problem. I don't really care about amateur belts anymore, because now I'm in the real business now, and I want to get real belts. And try to make my stand in the welterweight professional division.
Once again, this is Chase the Archangel, Archangelo here on Forged in Ohio. Just how important was it for you to get that amateur win in December? Maybe put the final bow onto what was an incredible amateur career, which I'm sure is going to set you up nicely for that pro debut.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good win. I was super happy with it. I was super excited as well to get back in there for Cage Thunder. It's a fantastic promotion. Eric and Randy Jarvis, they do a phenomenal job at putting on a phenomenal show. I cannot wait to bring Cage Thunder back to my backyard over here.
Look at that!
So
yeah.
I'm gonna try to work on that, getting them in here. So that way I can sell that out again. I'm looking forward to that. And you know, they run a phenomenal promotion. I couldn't be any happier to fight for them, and I'll be fighting for them for quite some time. Then we're looking at the LFA right now too. But I just want to be able to get my name out there because I'm marketable. I'm a good fighter, you know, and I want to make my move now. That way, I want to be super active. I want to get at least 4 fights this year as a professional because I want to just start running through people, get a nice cushion. Then probably my 6th fight, they'll give me the call, and then Dana, here I come.
I love how you can see Jacob's Pavilion right outside your window like that. How often do you just look down there and imagine yourself competing on that stage in an event surrounded by you?
What bothered me was that I wish I had a camera like at my window just so like I can hear my fight. Like I know a lot of my friends were in the flats and they heard my name like on the announcers, like they were in the flats down the river and they heard like my fight name come out. They're like, "Oh crap, Chase is fighting right now." And then they all ran over to the hill over here and they watched my fight. But that was that was so electric too. It was such a good night. But yeah, it's a blessing. It was a blessing. It could have been a curse, could have been a nightmare, but it's good that I got to win that night too. Seeing that every day, I'm like, wow, like I competed in that. Like multiple stars have fought there. Stipe's fought there. Cody Stevens fought there. A lot of UFC legends and strong style legends fought there. And I just felt like I put my name in there now. And Alexa's fought there. And, you know, yeah, it was just a wonderful experience to fight there. I look forward. Hopefully it doesn't rain. Yeah. But I look forward to fight there again. I know they're going to run a phenomenal event there again.
In a perfect world, when will we see you make your pro debut, and does it come at that venue?
Well, I mean, we're looking at May right now. May is the target right now because I want to start throwing some elbows in my arsenal. We've been doing that this whole year anyway, but I still want to clean things up, and I am so excited to throw elbows now, and not excited about head kicks, unfortunately, but I'm excited to throw elbows and cut some people open now because I was very restricted in amateur because I wasn't allowed to use my forearms as much. I like to use them as frames, but now I can actually hit people with them. And in my opinion, that would have stopped majority of my fights earlier if I was able to use my forearms and elbows. So I always had that in my head. But yeah, so general, like I'm excited to turn pro. It was meant to happen. Like I'm not really too like overhyped about it. I know that I'm ready for it. My coaches know I'm ready for it. You know, we're on the road to get to the UFC, and I know for a fact if we keep the consistency up and stack the bodies up like I always do, because this time I'm not looking for decisions anymore. I'm gonna just go back out like when I first started. It's a restart button. I'm 0-0 again, and I'm getting ready to go out there and put some pain on people for real this time.
Yeah, I wanted to ask about that general excitement when it comes to turning pro. Not only the weapons at your disposal, those elbows that I'm sure work flawlessly in your game plan, but also just the fact that you are going to reset that record, be 0-0, and be considered that professional athlete again.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really bother me because, you know, when I transitioned to high school to college, I mean, that's pretty much the same thing.
Yeah.
Because high school wrestling is completely different than collegiate. And I just made my thing, and I was the same way. And I won my first college match. and against a returning college starter. So it was a wonderful experience for me. But to me, it would be the same thing. You know, I've been in this game for almost for 5 years now. And now I was able to develop really good. You know, I didn't really rush too much. I know my record is pretty light, but with being 5 years, but I wanted to, you know, get 6 months of work, get more 6 months of experience, rolling with some UFC guys, training with Stipe, and watching the chemistry between Marcus and Stipe when we were getting ready for Jones the first time. And that's what made me better, because that first camp really helped me a lot. And, you know, unfortunately, I wasn't able to participate in the second camp because of my knee. But it's still, in general, like I was rolling with AJ Dobson, Miles Robinson. I'm fighting animals, like guys that are just absolute elite animals in my gym. And I think it was such a wonderful experience. And I think now it's just another fight now. It's just another Saturday to me when I turn professional.
I know amateur careers really kind of become forgotten after a certain amount of time, but say in 10 years from now, what do you think you'll think about most when it comes to the 7 fights you had as an amateur fighter?
Honestly, just the way it built my character. It built my persona. You know, I lost college wrestling. I didn't really get the satisfaction I wanted in wrestling, and, you know, went through a really nasty breakup during that time. And it was an emotional thing for me back then. I was, you know, I was in severe depression, and it was very difficult for me to even get excited for anything. And, you know, we talked before about, you know, what pushed me to get into fighting. It was because of, you know, everything piling up, and I needed something to, you know, let out. And my friend Jose and my former roommate Andrew Murphy, they picked me up one night, took me to a Cage Thunder fight in September 11th of 2021, and rest is history. And that's when my persona started. And that's when I wanted to change who I am. And, you know, this is me now. I'm a MMA fighter, and I'm a PE teacher. And I don't know if you knew, but my TikTok absolutely blew up the other week because of my TikTok. And they all know that I'm like the teacher and a fighter. It's like the Here Comes the Boom and the movie Warrior and all that. It's hilarious. But it really built me a good foundation for sure.
You mentioned consistency moving forward. Do you feel like you have to make up for some lost time with that 16-month layoff and just be that much more active moving forward?
I mean, that was always the plan, was to be super active. But yeah, I am on a hurry up offense. I do want to like get in gear, and I do want to get in gear in general to fight like very often. So I want to like get my first 3, smoke them, and then get a guy that's pretty tough. Maybe go out of state. I know my manager wants me to fight out of state a little bit. What's up, guys? But that's my roommate. He's a boxer. But yeah, it's just pretty much same old thing for me.
Yeah, with that, what does 2026 look like? Can you map out what that ideal year looks like for you?
Yeah, so ideally, I do want to fight in May, and then maybe fight in probably late July. I would probably say late July. Like if I'm okay, obviously, if I walk out clean, I want to fight within the next month or so, or 2 months, and then I want to try to get 2 more before the winter's over. If I get 3, I'll be happy. 4, I would be even more happy. But we got to get the right guys first. You know, we got to train our rear ends off. And I think just in general, we have to just stay on the course, not rushing anything. Don't take unneeded fights when we don't need to. Marcus is very good with that. Cooper's good with that, you know, and I think we're going to be just fine this year. I want to be in the Contender Series by 2027, hopefully, or maybe 2028. I mean, the goal is 2027. I want to get in the Contender Series.
Man, I can't wait for that. And 3 to 4 fights for you in 2026 sounds very exciting, man. Before we wrap up, just anything you'd like to shout out or plug here at the back end of the podcast, I'll give you the floor here.
Yeah, I want to thank you, man. I just appreciate, that I'm just glad to be back. I'm just happy to, be the king again, and I don't need a belt to prove that, but I'm just happy to be back, full swinging again. I want to thank my friends and my family, my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, and most importantly, I want to thank my family, my brother, my mother, my dad, my grandmother as well. They were part of this journey this entire time, and I want to thank my fight team as well. They've witnessed me at my worst, and Marcus Marinelli has witnessed me at my best and my worst, and I crawled my way out of hell, and I'm just happy to get back to the surface and get ready to, keep punching people in the mouth. And now I get to drop elbows on their faces now. So I'm super excited to, be showing out again and, making people want to see me again and go from there, man.
I love it, man. Thanks again, Chase, for joining me on the show. You're now on the short list of fighters that have made 3 appearances on Forged in Ohio, so that's much appreciated. And I'm sure you remember that I like to end these chats by doing the OHIO chant with my guests as well. So, OH.
IO.
Thanks, Chase. It was great to see you return in December. I'm looking forward to that pro debut and a much busier 2026 for you. And we'll talk again on here soon.
All right. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate it.
That was Chase, the Archangel, Archangelo, the 7-0 amateur mixed martial artist. I think Chase is in my top 5, maybe even top 3 when it comes to Ohio MMA fighters that I'm keeping an eye on in 2026. He's a fantastic guest, as I'm sure you're well aware of, and I'm sure that's come across now all 3 times that he's been on the show. My hope is to bring back that weekly consistency to Forged in Ohio this year, but be patient with me on that, and I'll always be really transparent and provide show updates on social media at Forged in Ohio on Instagram, Facebook, and X. You can also make sure you're subscribed to the Forged in Ohio YouTube channel as well. We're growing over there on the video side of things. And to shop our latest merchandise, that link is in the description as well. Thanks again to Chase, the Archangel, Archangelo, and thanks to all of you for watching or tuning into this episode. I've been your host, Jake Murren, and this was Forged in Ohio.